Please, can you make me co-host?
Of course, already.
All right, thank you. So can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so let's proceed. So in web design and making your web design responsive, there are some principles that you should take note of, right? Because like I've emphasized, you know that responsive just means that how your website will show if it is in a smaller screen, that is in a phone, a tablet, and a laptop, how the laptop will be, right? That's what brings about being responsive. So there are many devices that can access the web. They can come in all shape and size. So a responsive website is the practice of designing flexible websites that can respond to different screen size, right? Orientation and resolution. So we'll be learning how to create media query. We're checking how to make media queries and all of that. There are four principles we'll be looking at. But the first one is media query. So for media query, they just came, right? Before, when me I learned, there was nothing like media query. What we just used to use then, there was not even all those metaverse thing. That metaverse that is imprinted in your head. What you just do is that you just do your image in a way that when you reduce the screen, everything is going to like fall in place and all of those things. But media query has made things easier, right? So media query just helps you change the presentation of content based on different viewport sizes. And when we saw from our Visual Studio, our W3 schools, you could see that the media query was just telling you the sizes your images should be, if they are in a smaller screen or they are in a larger screen, right? So the media query just consists of all your media type. And if that media type matches the type of device the document is displayed on, then the styles will be applied. So you can have as many selectors and styles inside your media query as you want. So when you call your media query, you can now have different styles. So this is an example. Your media query in this case is acting as your selector. So this is going to return your maximum width if it's less than or equal to 100. And the following media query returns the content when the device height is more than or equal to 350 pixels. So if the height and the width has gotten to a particular pixel size, it's going to do what it tells it to do. So always remember that the CSS inside your media query is applied only if the media type matches that of the device being used. So you can add a media query so that the p tag has a font size of 10 pixels when the weight is less than or equals to 80. So let's run it. So we have to declare a media query now. So we want the font size So when the device is less than or equal to 800 pixels, so come here and say 800 pixel, right? You'll now see font size. Sorry. You can have more than one selector. This one is supposed to come as a declaration. Pixel.
Aba arha in ka je kasuwan nan. To ɗari ne fa tamanin na yara.
Okay. Did you see what I just did? Who saw what I just did before I moved here?
I did.
Okay. Do you understand? So for you to always use your media query, right? There's a particular way you can declare what's your media query, what you want your media query to do. So your media query normally just helps you set or do a particular function or do something when maybe your width is at a particular height or width, maybe when it's lesser than or equal to a particular pixel, or when it's greater than or is equal to a particular pixel, right? So in this challenge now, they said what? They said add a media query so that P tag has a font size of 10 pixels when the device is less than or equal to. So I copied this media query instruction that you will use with your CSS. Then I kept it in between where they said I should have it. And from your media query, they've said it already that your media query can have more than one selectors in it. That is, it can have more than one selectors. So our focus here is P, right? And they said when the maximum height is equal to or less than 180. So we come here, change this to maximum. Maxi height is equal to what? 800 pixels, right? So when it's equal to 800 pixels, we'll come here, we'll now call our selector P. So when we call our selector P, we'll now take what? Font size. By doing a declaration, then we say 10 pixels. So can you see? But the moment when it's higher, guys, is 800 because it's greater than 800. So if you change the font size, right? So when the maximum width is 800, the font size has been what? The font size has been changed. So can you see that? You see that when we run it, it's going to run. So can you see that? So we'll go to the next page. The next part you can make responsive, apart from making the select, I'm showing you how you can do this. Either you make your using jQuery in when you use selectors, like maybe words like H1, P, images, and all of that. Then this is now when you want to make an image responsive. So making images responsive itself is actually very simple. You just need to add these properties to your image. That is, maximum width should be 100% and height should be auto. What this height should be auto means that the height should cover the initial image, like the initial height of that picture. You know, I don't know if you can remember yesterday when somebody was trying to do a background color, but it was not covering. That we did cover, no, I don't know if it was Fatima, that the person's image was not covering altogether. So if it's that you use height auto with your image, it's going to give you that exact height that your image has, and to give you a maximum of 100%. And if you can remember when I told you, I said if you want to do your bit on any website, the maximum is 100%. 100% is the exact full screen, right? If you want to do a website. So when you add your 100 and your height, so let's add the style rules responsive image class to make it so it would never be wider than this in the container. In this case, is the preview window, and you should keep its original aspect ratio after you have added your code. So resize the preview for the images, right? So let's do this. So we'll come here. Then we'll write the property, maximum width. We're doing a declaration now. Said the maximum width should be what? 100%. Then height should be auto. It's that simple. So can you see how the responsive for images work? So for images, it's just two properties you need: your maximum height and your auto. Why for media query depends on what you want to.
Ma,
Yes.
so like this now, if you're doing something like a gallery or something, and then you want to have the images about the same size, the same height, like you're adding different images. When I set it to height 100%, height auto and width 100%, it's kind of affects the way everything is going to be. Like you want it to be a particular size, you don't want it to be 100% because you're going to add more things to it.
Do you mean that when it's in colon, is it when it's in colon, like maybe it is sharing, like how like 3 images will be on the same line, or like 4 images will be on the same line? That one, there's another way to go about doing that. I'll show you. This is just for when your images are like
it's not in colon. It's not in colon.
So this one is for when it's not in colon, right? So when it's in colon, I'll show you what to do. I'm just showing you for the different scenario how to make it responsive.
Ma, please, I wanted to ask the question she asked. Even when it's not in colon, it still does the same thing because I've tried it. I'm even thinking that maybe when it's in colon, it will respond.
Let me see. Can you share your screen, or can this person share our own screen?
Anyway, I'm not using my laptop now, but I can connect to it.
At least, can you share your screen? Let me see what you're talking about.
Okay, but it's my project, the project that you've asked us to do.
Okay.
Yes.
Explain it again. Let me see if I can make sense of it.
Okay, so for instance, like this, let's say I want to have three things on one column, like on one side. So I want to have maybe a write-up, an image in between, and then a write-up at the ending. But I want it at the top. I also want something under that is just pictures, for instance. Now, if I have like more than one picture, like let's say I have 4 pictures now, if I set the width to 100% and then the height to auto, the pictures are going to vary, but I want them all to have the same height, the same width. I want them to like be uniform. in size
I
and
get.
all of them. Yes.
Did you put it in a div class first? Say first off,
Yes.
they are all separated by a div.
Yes.
If they're all separated by a div, then you don't
Yes,
even
ma'am.
have to do that for one. This is for like maybe when you go to like a background image or an image that's supposed to take up the whole width, right?
Oh, okay. Hmm.
So let me show you this layout website. I'm showing you this, so I'll just show you what came to mind when we're talking about that. Is it like something like this, that there'll be a content here, then main content here, something like this, or it's more of something like this column two,
Let's say
or
the
this
three
column three?
column. Let's say the three column,
All
and then
right.
under it too, there's still something.
So if you notice,
There are 8
see what they
pictures.
did. Hmm?
Yes, ma'am.
Like make want to display.
So do they all have equal columns, or one will be bigger than one?
One will be bigger than one.
All right. So look at in this scenario now.
Hmm.
See what they did now. These the 3 columns, right?
Okay.
So in these 3 columns, and this website is responsive. But see what they did here. They made it be in a column. They gave it a column name, right? And if you notice, it's in a div. There's for a div name called role. That's what I was telling this girl yesterday, that there should be a div, which is the parents. Then in that div, it will now have the number of column you want. That is the 3 children. See this first column 1, the second column 2, and the third column 3. But altogether, everything is in what a parent called what column. Then in that div, you can now put your maybe image that you want to put, or maybe it's a word or everything. But there are 3 siblings that are what column. And you see how they styled it here. The first say column, then I say float left, right?
Yes.
And because of the width of each column, they said divided by 3. It cannot obviously be 100 because it's divided by 3. So what you will do is that you say 100 divided by 3 so that they can both have equal space. What's 100 divided by 3?
33.33.
Exactly. That's what they use here. So it's because it's one image. That's why we could use 100. So it is that this column would have been 5. The width is not 100 again. You divide that column. That, if you notice, is for the div class name that has column, not for the general class name. You know, there's a general class name role. It's not role now. For each of the div where each of the column will be, that is what the height will take up this words, 33.33%. If it's that we want one of these columns to be bigger, this is what we'll do if we want it to be bigger. We can see the one that this side, they said, you see that they gave, let me click charge yourself so you see it. So you said the one that they wanted to be bigger, they gave it 3 different names, right? This is the parent name, that's the rule. Then in the parent, there's column side, column middle, column side. The 2 column side, they are the same thing, where the column middle should be bigger. But at the end of the day, everything should be what? 100%. If everything will be 100%, you see that in each of the columns has their own width. Column side has 25, that's already 50. Then the one in the middle should take up 50. That's already altogether how many? 100%.
100. But then if you are now going to add padding just so that there's spacing between them, how do you now factor that in?
So you will add the padding in the column, like the column that is going to collect, you know, at the end of the day, all of them towards as a column name.
Yes.
See, there's column, right? That's one class name. Then there's another class name that is side. So there's a class name column side. That's then the those column, which is equivalent to all of them, there must be a float, because it's that float that is making it not take up a full width, because normally a div is supposed to take up a full width because it's a block element.
Yeah, but when you make it into this thing, when you make it as in block, it will still line up that way. So if you use in block, how do you now go about it?
What do you mean if you use in block?
You see, if you use in block, it won't
That's
have that
inline.
this thing. It will not be side by side.
Yes.
Because I didn't use float, I use in block, and they are still side
Yes,
by
yes,
side.
yes. It will be side by side because it's the display. In block displays that it should be what? It should be side by side. So yes, that can still work.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
You know, look at it with the way the display comes out. So remember when I was teaching about box model, I was saying
Yes.
that there are some there are some elements that will take up your full width, and there are
Yes.
some that will not take up your full width. Something like div now, P, H1, those will take up a few. So there are block elements, inline elements, span, image, and all of those things. So now in this case, we want to manipulate this block element to be an inline because we want it to be side by side. So if you don't even use this left, like you said, let me comment this. Oh, let me just write what I want to write. So display. Can you see? Because I use display block, can you see what happened?
Yes.
It dissolved. Then if I now come here and say inline, the inline is there space in between like this? Is this how? Let's spell this in.
Yes, it's like that.
I was thinking that is inline block.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, true. Sorry.
Let's use float. Let's just use float. Float is better
Okay.
because can you see that this inline block that we're doing, it did not make this side be next to it. Let me reduce this side first. Let's make this width 20. Make this 40. You see that when I made it 40, that was when this one could come up and be by the side. Sorry. If I didn't make this 40, this would have come up here because this inline block is giving it its own width. Oh God.
That's true.
Thank you. It's giving it its own width beside it.
Yes.
It's also when I reduced it. But we know that everything here covers 100.
Okay.
So let's not make this inline block add its own extra width to it because if not, it moves to the next place, right? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Usman, what don't you understand? I can go over it again. Adronketu does not understand. What don't you understand? I can take it up from the top. So we'll just have to use floats left. Let's use floats left. Then we'll give it a padding. Padding of like 10 pixels. So can you see? Now it has covered the way it's supposed to cover because everything is floating to the left. Is that when we don't want something else to come over when it can come? Let me change this to 25, 25. If you notice, there's still space here beside that side, right? If I do something else, like something of 10 can still enter there. But now I want it to cover everything. So can you see? Now it has covered it perfectly. It has taken its whole full width. So Ronke, what don't you? Okay, so let me re-explain those that deal with 3 columns, right? So it depends on the columns. So will the columns be equal or they'll be unequal? Please give me a few minutes, please. I don't know why I'm really sneezing. Okay.
Miss Titi, we cannot hear you again.
Sorry, I was muted. What was the last thing you heard? What was the last thing you heard?
Hear anything since the time you excused yourself.
Permission.
Hey, Jesus, I've been talking. God,
Oh,
did you know when I came back? Did you hear me when I said I was back?
no, we didn't hear.
No, we didn't hear you.
Hey, I've explained. I've done the whole. Okay, you guys are just seeing the changes I was making, Abby.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
making those changes to explain. Oh my Jesus. How come nobody said it? I've spoken for over 10 minutes. Okay. So I was trying to re-explain the person that said if it's 3 divs, right? So if it's 3 columns, if it's 3 columns, is either the columns are unequal or they are equal. So if they are unequal, you will give the width that you want to be large, a particular width, and the one that you want to be small, smaller width, right? So if it's that we want, for instance, now we want on this line, on this row, we want what? We want 4 columns. I'm just using 4 columns as an example so you understand. You know, all of it is in a div class called what? Role, right? So we want to create another column that will still be in this div class. So the div class role is the parents, while the other ones are the siblings. They are all siblings to one another. So now there are 4. So can you see the 4th one came here? Why? Because we did not create room for it. We told it here that it should be what? The other column should take 33.3.3. And if you take 33.3.3 to fill up only 3 rows, because altogether the width should be 100 pixel, 100 percentage. So if I come here and divide that 100 percentage by 4, that will be 25, right? And if I run it, can you see that the 4 columns are already fitting? Because in all the 4 100%, what happened? There is a column that I've divided it to be what? 25%. Do you get that? But if it will be responsive, right? This jQuery that we've added here, we've seen the jQuery for the screen when the maximum is 600 pixels should contain 100 bits. That is, if it's lesser than 600, that's what's happening here. On your screen, it cannot be like this, the way it is like this now. You know, on larger screen, it is like this. But if it's now smaller, it cannot continue to be like this for smaller screen. So when it's smaller, what this media screen just says that when it's smaller, it should take up 100%. It should not share again. It should not share using this 33.3%. This
So,
33.3%.
please, where is the jQuery that was used to specify that?
Yeah. It's media query, not jQuery. Sorry, media query. Can you see it? Here.
Okay, I can see it.
So when the width is less than 600 pixel or equal to or less than 600 pixel, that's when the colon should take full width screen. Otherwise, it should still be here. That is, it should still take the 25 pixel. but the 25 pixel is shared among 4. Because all together, the total of this is 100. So divided by 4 is what? 25%. Do you get it now, Balikis and this thing?
Ma, please, I want to ask you something from there.
All right.
Okay, assuming that now you want to have up to maybe 12 columns. I'm not just talking about 4, and you want it to be in 3 rows in such a way that the first row will have 4 columns, the second row will have 4 columns, and the last one will have the 4 columns. Are you going to open a new div row after the first 4?
Yes. So what we'll do now, let me show you. We'll do it quickly. So copy all of this from row again, right? Control C. And after this, so each and every row has what? 3 columns. Each and every row has what? 3 columns. So let's run it. Let me expand this so you can see it. So can you see that?
Wow.
So it's floats that can help you achieve this. To do grid is not done like this. Using flexbox is not done like this. But this is for column. So if it's that you even want it to be 3 on each line, it should not be 4. It should be 3, but it should be like 4 rows, but 3 on each line. You can do that. So depending on the number of row you want on a line, you will divide it by the 100. I guess I'm the one that didn't explain it well from the very beginning. That was why there've been a lot of issues. But do we all get it now?
Rows should be in different classes. It should be row 1, row 2, row 3.
Exactly. Or you can just give everything role. Then if you now want to add, like if you now want a particular style to now be in each and every one, you can now specify again. You know how you can have 2 classes in one element, right? So you can now come close to this one. You can now give this one 1. Though all of them have similar role 1, right? Okay, so that's no necessary. So this one will be role 1. Yes.
Are we saying that 600 pixels, that's supposed to be the largest? It can't be more than that.
No, it's saying that if your screen size is 600 pixels or lesser, that's what that one is saying, right? It's saying if you not to specify screen, if the screen you're trying to use to view this is 600 pixels or lesser, that's if you not see this result size now, this is 561 times 334. So automatically it will be 100. If this one is 600, it's from 600. Can you see 601? See what happened at 601? What happened at 601? At 601 is still 4.
Yes, it's still 4.
But the moment when it becomes equal to 600,
becomes lesser.
Can you see? It takes up the full screen. So it's just saying that when it's on your screen, and normally if you view websites from your phone, which has a screen width size, you will not see all these columns like this on your phone because your screen is not wide enough. Imagine if there are 4 images in this small thing, 4 in this small thing. It will not make sense. Do you understand? So it's not saying that when the your screen size is at 600 pixel or lesser than 600 equal to 600, I mean less than or equal to 600, then your column should now take full size. You should not share again. Let me remove this query thing so you see it. If you remove this query thing altogether, let's run. So this is 480. Can you see that it does not make sense? Is this readable?
No, it's not.
Because why? It is on top of each other. So because it's on top of each other, and we don't want it to be on top of each other, we want it that when it is in a smaller screen, each and every one of these columns should stand for itself.
Okay.
It cannot be. Can you read this? This is not responsive because you cannot read it. You don't understand what that is.
Yes.
But the moment when you expand, that's when you can make sense of it because there's more space. It's not jam-packed. So better still, you will now use your media query to say that when it is what less than or equal, you can make it less than this. You can say maybe when it's 500 pixels or something, it should what?
Okay.
It should take a width of 100%. It should not more take a width of what?
Of the
25.
25%.
It was
Oh,
taking a width of 25 before because it was sharing. You know, altogether it was 100. So we say 100
100,
divided by
yes.
4. So that's how we got that. I hope this is clear now. Do we all get this?
Yes, ma'am.
So the command is media screen, and then you put the picture.
Yes. That's
Alright.
for maximum. Then you can do for minimum. You can say the minimum width is something, something, something. So you can do for maximum. You can do for minimum. Do you guys, is anybody not clear? If you're not clear, I can take it again. So the most important thing is that you already know what you're trying to achieve. If you know what you're trying to achieve, life is easy. You already know how many columns you want to achieve. You already know if maybe the column in the middle should be bigger than the column by the side. But don't forget, the whole width is what? 100%. And for it to share, you have to divide it by the number of what you want it to share. Right? So I was still talking about then this one is for images that will just full, like if you want to do background, the one I showed you earlier before I started explaining all of this in the more simplified way, is for an image that is maybe a background that you want it to cover the whole full width in whatever situation or circumstance. So see this one now. They said that use a retina image for higher resolution display. They say with the increase of internet connected device, their sizes and specification vary, and the display they use could be different externally and internally. So pixel density is an aspect that could be different on one device from others. And this density is also known as pixel per inch rather, PPI, or dot per inch, DPI. The most famous such display is the one known as Retina display on the latest Mac iBook Pro and recently iMac. Due to the difference in pixel density between a Retina and a non-Retina display, some images that have not been made with a high resolution display in mind could look pixelated when rendered on high resolution display. I'll explain what this means. This is just saying that whenever you want to put your pictures, right, your image should be on high resolution. That is, they should be clear. Don't put images that will not be clear and not be sharp. So then saying the simplest way to make your images properly appear on high resolution display, even if you reduce the pixels and all of that, such as your MacBook Pro's Retina display, is to define their width and height values as only half of what the original file is. So here's an example of an image that is only using half of the original width size. So can you see? They've already given the width and height, right? Then they called it, they say, an almost excellent picture. So now they say set the width and height of the image tag to half of their original values. In this case, both the original height and the original, so we come here, we put our image. So we want to set the width and height of the image tag to half of the original values. And the original values of the height and the original value of the width is 200. So come here and say width should be what? 100 pixels. Then height. Who can tell me the difference between how this image was before and how it is now? Who can tell me? See the image the way it is like this, right? And let me remove this bitter night. What's the difference? Look at it like this.
It's smaller.
And look at it like this. Sorry. It's not about smaller. You're not getting exactly what I want you to. Look at this image the way it is now. And look at it when it was like this. Is nobody seeing what I'm saying?
The smaller one looks sharper.
Exactly. The smaller one looks sharper. Then this bigger one looks what? It's not as sharp. But you can see that the image was actually sharp. That means the image actually had the high resolution. But because of the pixels you use, right? It didn't make you see your eye. It didn't make you see your eye resolution well. So you're saying for images like this, it's better you set it to be what? Half. It should be half the initial image so that you'll be able to see the high resolution. Can you see that when it became smaller, this one is sharper and brighter compared to the other one that was bigger? And that's what happens to our images sometimes. When we can increase the width, the initial width and length, it can be 200 pixels, but that's not the resolution. The resolution has been distorted. So what we can do in cases like that is that we can divide the initial width and height so that the resolution can be clear and your picture can be sharper. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am. What if you download an image from a website? How will you not know the formal width and height?
Okay, so you can check through Canva that Taiwo suggested the other day, or you can use an image resizer.
Okay.
So this is another aspect at which you can have responsive website. These are principles that guide responsive website. So they say instead of using EM or pixel to size text, you can use viewpoint units for responsive typography. Viewpoint units like percentage are relative units, but they are based off different views. So viewpoint units are relative to the viewpoint dimension, that is your width or your height of a device, and percentage are relative to the size of the parent container elements. So the four different viewpoints are, you can have VW, which is your width. It could be 10% of your viewpoint's width. VH, that can be 3% of the viewpoint's width. Then viewpoint minimum, that's V min. It will be 70% of the viewpoint smaller dimension of both width or height. Viewpoint maximum, it will be the 100% of the viewpoint's bigger dimension. So here's an example that set a body tag to 30% of the viewpoints, right? So let's say set the width of the H2 tag to 80% of the viewpoint's width and the width of the paragraph as 75% of the viewpoint's smaller dimension. So we'll come here, say P. Let's start with H2. So viewpoint, we want width, right? Then we'll say what? 80 VW. Then we'll do P. Then we'll do width. %75 what? VW.
Please, what is VW?
Can you see the
Before
difference
Maxima.
when it didn't have a width? To me. So can you see how it was here? So based on your viewpoints, when I added your viewpoints, can you see? So if I expand this now, it's based on your viewpoints. So can you see? It's based on how the viewpoint is. Can you see that? So if it's smaller, it's taking the shape of the viewpoint. Okay, so this one should be minimum, not maximum. So that one should have been minimum. So this one is for your flex box. So if you want to make this flex, you want to use display flex to position two box, right? So this is the box container. That's the box container is the what first div. Then the box container now contains what box 1 and box 2, right? So the box container contains box 1 and box 2. So box 1 is what div, the parent is the first div, then the two other ones are in that div. Then the box 1, say you should have a height. Box container, that is everything in this box, you should have a height of what 500 pixel and a width of 50 and height of 50. If you notice, it's half of the screen, is not full, and it's because they did not use floats. What happened? You went to the next line, the next box started on the next line, it didn't start directly next to it. So this section uses alternate challenge styles to show you how to use CSS to position elements in a flexible way. First, a challenge will explain theory, then a practical challenge using a simple tweet component will display flexbox concept. So we want to place the CSS property display flex on an element, so it allows you to use other flex property to build a responsive web page. So we want to add the CSS property to box container and set its value to flex. So we'll come here to the box container. The box container box 1 and box 2. Can you miss yourself? So we said display, how it should be seen. It should be seen as what? Flex. Who can tell me what happened? What happened? What happened? Can anybody tell me what happened? Anybody?
Please, ma, do it again.
So this was before the flex box. But if you notice for me, they're already giving it width of 50%, height of 50%, right? So the moment when they now kept the flex box, what happened?
So the display flex is an inline, like the box became on the same line.
An inline, right? So if you can remember when I was talking, I said that there are 3 ways you can use to do your columns. Is either you use your flex, or you use your float, or use your grid. So this is how you use your flex when you want to use your flex in your website. So if you want to add flex to this Twitter embed, so this is a Twitter embed, right? So to the right is the Twitter embed that will be used as a practical example. So some of the example, have you ever occurred to you that Twitter is a website? Literally. Have you ever occurred to you that how did they create it? Like how did they build it for it to be doing all of those things that it's doing? Well, that being said, so we say add flex superpowers to the Twitter embed, right? So to the right is the Twitter embed that will be used as a practical example. Some of the examples will look better with a different layout. So the last challenge demonstrated display.flex. So here you will add it to several components in the tweet and embed to start adjusting the position. So now we'll add the CSS property display flex to all of the following items. Note that the selectors are already set up in the CSS. So we'll add it in the header, we'll add it in the profile name, the headers follow button, the headers H3, H4, and the footer. And the footer does start. So let's start. So the first one is the header. So put our display. Who noticed what just happened when I kept this? This is how it was. So just look at the changes it's making. So can you see? This folder has what's gone up, right? Because of the display flex. So the next place is to put it in the what? Headers.profile name. So come here. It's in display. What happened? Profile name too went up, right? Before then, it was not up. It went up. Then the follow button. Can you see that? Then the header H2 and H3. Then the footer. And the footer starts. It's actually very easy when you know what to do. It's just like putting styles and arranging it, right? It's when you don't know what to do that it can become very confusing and it can be very somehow.
Ma, please, can you talk about making cards responsive? CSS card. Yes.
All right.
Thank you. And the issue of this, so I just knew now that you said flex does not, like using flex for columns, that part where you were using float left for that column, that row and column, I used flex for mine and I flex the direction to column, to row. So sharp vertical, but I wasn't able to achieve it like you said. So that means I have to rewrite the code and there will be no flex in that CSS. But that responsiveness, I don't know if you can wave it for us too, because that thing, it will be as if you know it now. You just sit down, you just see that you are not getting it. Honestly, I don't know if I'm the only one that has the issue.
Let me send you this link. Maybe if you do some practice questions, you become familiar with it. So I'll send the link.
Okay.
Let me send it to the group chat. To the chat so you can check this out, right?
Okay, ma.
So he said cat Cards.
Yes, cards.
I'm coming. Okay, so I also send a link. But some of the things we didn't do in class. So if you want to do some of all these things, like maybe you want to do a calendar, to-do list, you want to create it. I would have even given some people to do to-do list. Anything you want to do, Sha, that you want to add to your website, right? You can do it from here. You want to create a website, portfolio. If you go to How to in W3 schools, you see it, portfolio, resume, grid, for 2-column layout, 3-column, 4-column, column cards,
Ma,
and all of those things. Is it
good evening,
column
ma.
cards you
Good
want to
afternoon,
do?
ma.
Cards.
Good afternoon, ma.
Yes, good afternoon.
You can also do a newsletter here, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Fatima, is it something like this?
My like what's my?
Like this? Is the card like this?
Yes, yes, it is.
So, you know, is your CSS that would you will use to achieve this, basically?
Yes.
Your HTML, who can tell me the markup for this? What's the markup for this? Anybody is easy. What's the HTML markup they used here? Anybody?
Is it for the image?
For this card that was built, this card here.
I don't know if it's a form.
No, it's not a form. Look at it very well. It's something you guys even use. It's something you use. There's an image. There's an image, and there's a P.
Okay, an image gallery.
Hello, ma.
Sorry, my voice was breaking. No.
right, sorry about that. My internet logged me out. Okay. You can even check here for different type of forms, right? So anything you want. This is the newsletter that you asked about. All right, so let's continue. So to achieve this, yes, they use. So see the CSS they use, they said shadow box shadow. I don't know if you can remember when I was telling you about box shadow, right? This is the RGB for the box shadow. So they use 0.4 pixel, 8 pixel 0. So what is 0.4 pixel, 8 pixel 0 just means that the shadow box top, the shadow box right, the shadow box left, bottom. So it has for the four sides, right? So the four sides, not everything that has the same, just only the top and the none of it actually has the same pixel size. The top is different, the left is different, the bottom is different than the right. And normally it's top and bottom that is similar, right and left can be similar. So that's why they had to write before. So this is shorthand for writing a box model top, left, right, and all of that. Then they use an RGB color. So the RGB color here is just for the opacity. Remember what RGB is? It's for the opacity. What the opacity is doing basically is just making the image more clearer, right? Then there's transition. Then they gave it a width. Then they said that it should be able to hover, like you should be able to hover around it. Then for the hover too, they kept a box shadow. So if you notice this card, you notice that it's the box shadow that is the main property used in achieving this. Can you see that? I'm coming. Yeah. So there are different type of cards, right? So that's how you do it. You create the card using your what? Box shadow. Your box shadow is the most important. So I'm not hearing anybody talk. I'm muted. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So your box shadow and your transition is the most important property that you use. So you can also do a flip card. You can make the card flip, right? So when you hover
But
around the guy,
I was not seeing your screen before, but I can see it now.
oh. So you can make this flip. So when you click on it, can you see it flips? So what makes you achieve this is that, don't forget, you use your box model, right? Then your box model, box shadow rather, box shadow your transition, then the transform style. See the CSS first so that you understand. So there's a div, then in the div, there's a flip card. Then there's the flip card is the div name. Then in the flip card, there's one that is what? Div inner. Then div inner is in what? Div front. Then there's div that is for flip card back. So there's for inner and black. For the inner one, there should be a what? Card front. And there should be an image. Then they kept the style for the image. And for the other one that is the flip, that's the back. What is it? What do you want? So sorry about that. But the major this thing to use is the what? Is the box shadow. And you can just look at this style that they did here to achieve what you want to achieve. So this for the flip. Then this for different, you see for different type of card. If it's for a profile card, you'll see for profile card here. So can you see this profile card? It's CSS they used to achieve this. So you can tweak it to fit your own. Then this is for products, for your product card. For those people that are doing fashion, you can use this product card. You can put it in a column, right? And you can achieve what you want to achieve. So I guess that's that about that.
All right, thank you, ma.
You're welcome. Any other question? Can we move to the GitHub? All right, I'll still talk about GitHub. I just wanted to be sure that this we are good to go with this. Are we good to go with this? Actually, all that you need, you can get them from W3 schools, right? So you can still look at W3 schools to get every single thing that you need. So let's move to the GitHub. So Fatima, do your GitHub later run?
Yes, it, ma. I was supposed to request I was supposed to, like, person that created that repo, since it's a public one and I want to collaborate, she was supposed to grant me access. So she later granted me the access. Then I was able to push to the repo.
The repo, okay. All right. So I don't know if you guys want me to take it all over again or what exactly you want me to take from the GitHub. Can you hear me? Hmm? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma, we can hear you.
I said, what exactly do you guys want me to discuss on the GitHub?
Okay, so they did not release the recording for the last GitHub we did. So those that were not in class actually couldn't like follow at all. So yes.
Okay. So do they have this link? If you have this link, get this link, sign up. When you sign up to GitHub, I'll send the link to you. Sign up to GitHub, download GitHub Desktop. Right. Oh yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma, we can hear you.
Absolutely.
I'm talking to the people that didn't get this thing. I said you guys should sign up. Sign up to GitHub first and download GitHub Desktop. If you've done that, let me know so we can proceed from there. Okay, good afternoon. Someone wanted to say something. So I wanted to say something. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma, we can hear you.
So I wanted to say something. One person isn't talking anymore. Do you guys want to continue working on your project? You don't need anything on the GitHub.
I'm trying to download the GitHub, but I've signed in on the desktop, like online.
All right. Ronke, have you done what I told us to do, or does anybody have a particular thing that you want me to address? I honestly don't know where you guys want me to start from. Oh. I'm asking and nobody's giving me any response.
Ma, can you give like a general overview? Like, yes, like a general overview. So that those that were not in class can benefit.
Okay. If you signed up and you downloaded your desktop, the next thing to do is that you would what? You would first of all, the first thing to do is that you first of all what? Open your GitHub, right? You sign up. Then when you signed up, in the place where you signed up, you create a repository. And when you've created a repository, then the person that is your group leader would be the main branch. Then every other person is supposed to like clone that image. Clone that project that contains the new repository and to push their own work and contribute because you're a collaborator in the project, right? For other people are the collaborator, the person creating it is the what master, and the person that's going to create the master branch. So when you do that, you would have to, let me show you. I don't know if you make sense of it when I'm talking about it like this. All right. So this is how your GitHub will be. So this is a repository. If I want to add to it, right, I'll come to this code. Then I'll copy this clone. Then I'll add it to my what? CSS. So when I add it to my CSS, this is
Please,
where
how do you add it to your CSS?
Your Visual Studio Code. So earlier today, I also told Kemi and Fatima rather to download what? I don't know if you guys have Git Bash. So if you have Git Bash, you can add it to your you can add the Git Bash. But install this first. This feature, pull request and share. Fatima, are you here? Fatima. Are you guys following me at all?
Yes, I'm following you. You said we should download Git something, Git pool. I'll be waiting now.
GitHub.
This one, the Git pull requests and issues. You said we should install it. Okay.
Fatima, are you here? Oh, Fatima is not here. No wonder. So I've been asking her a question. She's not responding.
Oh, sorry. I was not with my phone before, but I'm here now, ma.
Oh, okay. So I was asking that your GitHub terminal.
Okay, ma.
Did you use the desktop or is just your Git bash that you added to your terminal?
No, it was the desktop I used.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you take us through quickly how you did your commit so others can see it? Because I don't have I don't have a project that I'm working on that I'm trying to commit, so I cannot exactly show them. Let me stop sharing my screen so you can share.
My system is dead. I'm not on my screen. I'm not on my system now. I don't know if I can use your screen to just explain. Okay, Ijoma is here. It was even Ijoma that took me through.
Okay.
Yes, she was one that took me through the desktop. No, I told you that I've never used that desktop before. So she was one that took me through the desktop.
Okay.
Yes.
Ijoma, can you take us through? The GitHub. Okay. All right, let me just try for my own screen.
Okay, no, I'm on the road though.
So do we have the GitHub desktop now?
No, I'm still downloading, but you can go ahead. I'll use the online one.
All right. So you can also check the materials I sent, right, to help out.
Okay, ma'am.
So you copy this thing here, right? What you want to clone. Then if it's that you have the GitHub desktop, you click on open with GitHub desktop. Then you open with GitHub desktop. Then you have your Git bash. Or you copy there, you copy it. Then you go to your Git. For your GitHub bash, you would like write it out one by one. It will not allow you copy it the way you would have copied it with your
Ma? Hello.
So I added my Visual Studio Code, right?
Ma, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Joma, can you mute yourself? So I've authorized it. So I know by now, the group leaders, they should have done new clone, new repository. They should have had a new repository. They should have had a main branch, right? So now you're the one that is going to make some commits and some changes. So we're not starting with creating a repository. Neither are we starting with creating a branch. We want to open a pull request. That's what we're trying to do. So when you want to click on pull request, you click on what? The pull request on your tab. And I've already shown you from your VS Code how that pull issue. But Fatima, hear me? All right. So you pull the request from the request tab. Click new request. Then in the example comparison box, you select the branch that you've made. Then you make edits to it, then compare it with the main, that is the original one. Then you look at the page, and then make sure you want to create pull request, then create pull request. So this is the pull request, right? So that's when they've given you repository. When they've given you access, and if you want to pull requests, you want to add, then use your GitHub too. You can also check through this. So now, do you have your GitHub downloaded now? Your GitHub Desktop. If you have it downloaded now, I can take you through it from top. Can you hear me?
Hello, ma'am. My network is slow, so it's really not downloading. But it's okay. I think, I don't know. I think I'll just watch a YouTube video on it.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me just quickly take you through it.
Okay, ma'am.
So, yeah, the group, it's the new repository line here. Okay. I see this new line here.
Yes, ma'am.
Click on new repository. Then you click on new repository. It's going to open a name. You give it a description. You make me is going to do is that for every time when changes are made, you'll be updating the README. Like anybody that wants to make a commit to this repository, will be adding a README that includes the changes that the person is adding. Maybe the person is adding maybe the HTML part or the CSS part of the web page. Maybe the person is doing about me or the person is doing home. So you just be updating that in your README so that everybody can understand which is which. Then you will clone. I'll show you how to do that. So let's create this. Let's just give it a name. Let's just say hello world. Okay, I created hello world the other day. So hello world 1, right? Made it public, README, then create the repository. So because you are the group leader, you are the main, right? You are the main branch. So you can create more branch if you want to create more branch, right? You can create more branch from here if you want to create more branch. But if you want people to commit to this, so you're the one that has the first commit. The first commit we did just this hello world that we just have now. So if you want to use desktop, so I don't have. Oh, I actually have desktop. Actually have it. So then you clone it. So when you clone on your device, you already have the repository on your device, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So now I want to open it in Visual Studio Code. Have you seen that open in Visual Studio Code? Yeah. So enabled you to open in Visual Studio Code. You can now add your own code to this GitHub here. You have here. When you finish, want to use this place, you can go to your GitHub bash that we have here. Okay, you can even use this open from this your browser one, right? So now you already have this code. You've made the changes that you want to make. You've added what you want.
Now your line is breaking. Oh.
Then you call. What was the last thing you heard me say? Can you hear me?
Yes, it's clear now.
All right, what was the last thing you heard me say?
Then you come, I don't know.
All right, so I was at the moment when you open it, you know, from here, we opened the browser, right? And it was open in our Visual Studio Code, right?
Yes.
Then we had the file, yeah.
The line is still breaking, you know.
That just to make changes to this now, you can add your file. Oh God. What about now?
It's okay
It's
now.
clear now.
Okay. So now when you add your files that you want to add into what you've clone, right? Like clone it
Hello.
to
Sorry.
your
I think there is something
okay. So
interfering
if you
with
make the changes, you made all.
sorry.
What did you say?
Yeah, there's an issue. So at some point we can hear you, then like the next minute we can't hear you very well. So I don't know. I think it's something that's happening at your hand. Probably there's something probably you do when you're talking. So it kind of interferes with the things you're saying.
Oh,
I believe that makes sense.
what about now? My phone, I'm using my phone as my internet source and it's not even close to me.
Is that the
But
thing?
what about now? Is it
Yeah,
better?
it's clear now. It's clear now. But when you start talking, like probably once you start talking, you just start like we can't just hear you very well.
Yeah, you. Oh. Okay, let me go and check the internet. Okay. What about now?
Okay, I think it's better.
Okay. All right. So Visual Studio, and we've done all the changes we want to do in this folder. I can see your internet connection is unstable. But can you guys still hear me? Are you still with me?
Yes.
Okay. Wait, let me bring the phone here. My laptop is already fully charged. Just give me a few minutes. Okay. Is it much better now? Is it much better?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
it is.
Yeah, I guess so. Yes, it's okay now.
All right. So when we've made the changes to the Visual Studio Code, and we've added all that we want to add, then in our Visual Studio Code desktop, right? This place that has repository. So this current repository, I want to push it, right? So if I click on push, can you see it's pushing to the origin? It's refreshing repository, fetch origin, last fetch just now. Because you're using the open desktop GitHub, is making your push and your pull easy. But if you don't have the desktop, you have to do all these things on your GitHub, on your Git bash. So you'll be giving commands like git add. Then the git add that you're trying to add, you copy this repository from your GitHub. This code from here, this one here, you copy it and you paste it there. But this GitHub will not allow you to copy and paste. So you have to literally write it out. So you add your HTTPS.
Hello, ma. Hello.
Yes.
You can actually paste, but you can paste if you right click. It's just that you can't do the regular Control V, Control C on it. If you right click, you can paste.
Okay. So if you don't want to use your desktop, you say my file, it cannot recognize this file part, right?
Hello,
So
ma.
that's why
Hello.
it's telling me. Yes.
I guess you need to put the Git clone.
I've cloned it from the this thing already, from the desktop, right?
Yes.
So it was when I cloned it and I opened it in the Visual Studio Code. I've
Okay.
cloned it already. Let me see where they saved the clone. So can you see it was cloned in documents in the GitHub.
Yes.
So you can just use the opening desktop. The opening desktop is quite easier, I guess, because it has already cloned it for you. From here, when you just come here, instead of it to be writing the commands in the Git bash and all of those things, you come to this code place. Then when you come here, when you click on your code, can you see it? So you say open with your GitHub desktop, then it will open with it. Then as I already cloned it already, then to tell you, do you want to open in Visual Studio Code, or you want to view the files of your repository in the Explorer, or you want to open the repository page on GitHub in your browser, anyone you want to do. Then if you want to push and pull from here, or if you want to open it in your Visual Studio Code from here. If you want to create new branch, you can make a new branch from here. You can compare, you can merge into current branch from here. So I guess we should make use of this opening desktop. It's actually more easier than the Git bash one. Taiwo, you wanted to say something?
Yes, actually, I use the Git bar. I use the terminal more.
Okay.
So, but that Git add all, when you're using the add all, normally there's no command that follows it. Git add all to just add the code base that is already there. So the way you did it, but there'll be a full stop after it, like Git add, like the all, if you want to add everything. So it was actually correct the way you did it at the second line. Yeah. It's actually correct.
Thank you for the contribution. And you can actually even clone from here. And there's a way Fatima did it, that this GitHub.
Yes, I cloned from here. I clone from here. I don't use the desktop app. I use the web app straight.
Web app.
And
there's a way you can even use it from your Visual Studio Code, and it will be showing in this terminal. Your terminal will be showing here from this place. I don't know how Fatima did hers, but Fatima's one was showing here.
Yes,
Fatima,
that
are
was
you
because
there?
I installed Git to my terminal.
Oh, apart from the pull share request.
No. Once you have Git bash and Git I've forgotten the second one. There are two. Git bash, Git. I'm coming. Let me see if I can get the name. It would serve as a terminal for you, and you can also use this PowerShell.
Although you can actually use the PowerShell, yes, you don't actually need the Git. Git is just to make it more colorful, just to add color to it. That's what Git bash does. You can run everything on this terminal here live. But
if you do Git init now, you see that it will change. It will change to Git. If you initialize Git, it will change to Git. The PowerShell will change to Git. Git init. But do you have Git bash?
I have Git bash.
Well, mine usually changes to Git.
I have Git bash. This is the Git bash.
Although what's adding the color is actually NodeMon.
I have Git bash. I have Git GUI.
Yes. The UI comes with the bash.
or you can use the Git Desktop.
The way I used to do my own is from that Git bash, I would just say from that Git bash, so as to use the normal command, so as not to be confused, I'll just write start cmd. So to bring out my normal command prompt. Then from there, I'll just say cd, that's change directory to the folder I want to paste the folder I want to paste whatever I want to get.
Yeah,
from
what you're
somewhere.
cloning, right?
Exactly. Then the next line will just be Git Clone. I'll just copy that link from GitHub and paste it there, and it will clone it directly.
Oh. I get that. So you start with Git with CMD, right?
Yes, start CMD.
Okay.
Once you just start CMD on your Git bash, to take you to know, so that even a novice that cannot use this, can use the normal command prompt. Once you just type start CMD, enter, it will bring you to your command prompt. Exactly. Then you have CD, that's change directory.
Oh yeah, I know that change directly. So you're locating where you want it to be.
Exactly.
Then if you want documents, maybe you want it to be in your document. Create your documents.
Yes.
CD again.
No, CD, yes. Where you want it to be. Then you can now type Git Clone, Git. No, it's already there. It has changed. You should change CD. You have that hard drive where you have your C drive.
Actually, you need to copy the parts.
Just copy that part.
Yes,
Exactly. Copy that file part.
Another thing you can do is this. If you didn't copy the part before starting, you can just go to where you want it to be. Then click CMD on it. It's the same thing as this. To just give you CMD, it will open that part directly for you.
Oh.
Just go to your normal folder. Where you get to your folder, where you want to go to your normal desktop, maybe document or anywhere. On the file part on top, just type CMD, then click enter.
No, just click on this where you have this documents. Click on
it.
And copy.
The file part.
Just click, just copy. No, the whole of it, so that it will copy it from that C. No, come to that first line of arrow. This PC. Just do as if you're highlighting everything like this. Click on everything like this.
Hello.
No.
Hello. Sorry, can I just come here? Instead of clicking all these things, you know what you can just do? Just type CMD there automatically. Just type CMD. It's the same thing. Just type CMD there like that. CMD. Type CMD. No. Go back to the file part, a fresh file part. Just go back. After you open a document, any folder, just click any folder. Maybe second semester. Hey, click on maybe second semester. Now just tap document. Where you have document on top there, just tap it. Where you have documents in your file part, just now type CMD. Just type CMD. Just type CMD. No.
Well, let me stop sharing.
Okay, should I share it from my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Michael, can you make him Taiwo host?
Okay, I'll do that now.
All right.
Done already.
All right. So Taiwo, you can share now.
Okay, all right. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just go to a folder. Let me pick, let's say this is the folder I want. Maybe this folder called sample. Can you see my screen? Sample. So you just come here, tap here. Once you tap it, just type CMD there, then click enter. Automatically it takes it to that folder for you. So everything you want to do is just one time. So you don't need to be going to the folder or copying it one by one.
All right.
Should I repeat it? Like just go to any folder. Let's say this folder is called telemedicine. So telemedicine, I'll just tap here where the file path instead of copying it manually. You can also copy it manually, but there's no need. If you still want to copy manually, it's the same thing. So just tap on it once, then type CMD, then click enter. So it will just take it here. It sees it goes into that directory straight.
Right. So can you quickly run them through the GitHub, please?
Okay, how I use GitHub. Like, should I show you how I use GitHub? Okay, this is where I use GitHub. I use it from the terminal. I mean, for my Git bash. So if I want to start, let's say this is a project, this project called sample. So this project called sample, if I want to share my screen, if I want to upload it on GitHub, yes, I have a GitHub account. So what I do is this, sorry, I'm coming, I'm trying to hide this thing. Okay, so what I do is this, I go to my folder. Should I put a file? I don't need to put any file inside.
You can just leave it like that. You can put a file inside so that they can see it.
Let me just grab this file called sample. So this file is in my VS Code. So it's in my VS Code. So I'll just open it. It's already, let me just create HTML. Let's say index.html. So this is the file. Let me just put something so it won't be empty. So I'll call it maybe test. Let me give you H1. Welcome to my welcome. So like this now. So it's autosave I use. So if I put it on live server, it's already there. So this is it now. If I want to post it on like GitHub, I want to put it on GitHub. So I come here, this is where I do it. Automatically, I've installed Git bash. So what I do is this. Can you see the folder sample? There's a folder sample here. Can you see my screen? Can you see the sample?
Yes, I can see it.
So what I do, I right click on it. Once I right click on it, I go to Git bash here. I already have Git bash. Once you install Git bash, it will always show on your quick access, they call this thing. So I just click on Git bash here. Then it loads. That is for this one I'm explaining is for the leaders. Like if you are a leader, a group head, this is a way to do it. So it's telling me that this file is actually my desktop, that the folder is sample. So I'll just do Git. I'll do Git in it because I'm running this thing for the first time. So I have to initialize it, Git in it. So once you do Git in it like that, that means it's telling me that there's an empty Git repo named this. Then I'll now do Git add-on. Like Git add-on. Git add-on means you want to add everything you've written, every line of code you've written. But after the add, there'll be a space like Git add-on. You click enter again. Then you do Git push. No, Git commit, sorry. You do Git commit. Git commit means you want to actually add a comment. It makes changes. Yes, that is what I've done. So I'll just say I added welcome. I added welcome as a H1. I can just put it there. But make sure it's the same quotation. Either you're using single or double. So this Git commit as -m, -m rather, Git commit. So once you do that, you click enter. So it's now telling me that one file has changed. That means I've added a file. That file is telling me that it is HTML. That means I've added one file. The file I added was HTML. If you check my VS Code, there's an HTML. And it's telling me already to tell you the number of lines it is here. It will tell you 12 insertions. If you delete, it will tell you delete 2 as well. So it's telling me that I created a mode index.html. It's telling me the file. It's telling me that I added 12 lines. And if you check the code, like I said, we have 12 lines of code. So that's the first step. But like this is not at the repo yet. Then I go to my I don't use the Git desktop on this my computer. So I'll just go to GitHub. I'm signed in already on GitHub. So I go to GitHub. Then I go to new. There's something called new. Can you see my screen? There's a new here. So where you go to new. So it will tell me repo name. One name I want to give the repo. Then I'll give it, I want to give it one name, maybe I'll give it, okay, welcome test or something. Okay, welcome test or welcome sample or Git sample. Okay, let me make a Git sample. So I'll make a Git sample. You select here if you want to make it public or private, but because you're not the only one working on it, you can make it public, leave it as public. But if it's a private, maybe it's for a company or a job, you don't want anybody to just have access to the code base. You can easily change it to private, and you can change it to private anytime. So it's not a one-time thing. Then you go to create. Once you do that, that's the only thing you need to do. You can add a description here, what it's talking about. You can say this is a repo. This is a general repo. If you want, it's optional actually, like they said. General. If you have a README, I don't think you really need it, but if you're not adding a README or MD file, you may not do it. So there's a README file here too as well. Just like the facilitator said, you can add a README. Let's add a README there. So the README is where everybody can add things. Like README will tell you how to, if it's something you need to install, maybe you need to install some libraries to tell you what to do. So that's another thing README does. So it gives more information because the commit, you can't write so much things on the commit. You can't write like 10 lines on the commit. It's not too standard. But on a README, you can write so many lines or an MD file. So you don't need the add git ignore. You don't need it. At times, it will even add it for you. You don't need to choose the license. Those ones are not. So GitHub is telling you that to set main as a default branch. To set main as a default branch. So once you do this, just click on create repo. So you allow it load. So this is it. The repo is created already like this. So you can see Tyro git sample. That's the name of the repo. You can see there's a default branch called main. There's a different branch called main. But then if you are working together with people, it's not advisable to work directly on the main. They'll ask you to create your own maybe branch, develop or something. But don't work on the main branch directly because it's the main branch they push to production or you want to host directly. So this is the MD file. So this is the general repo. There's nothing much there for now. So now I've not added the repo itself. I've not added the repo. I've not added the code I wrote. This is just to create the repo that everybody can see. Just like the README file, Ms. Titi also added on our file, on our code the other time. So these are it is. Now you now go to, now that you've done this, you now go to, sorry, I'm coming. Hope I've not mixed it up.
Copy your code. Where you have this code, copy that link and you go and paste it on your CMD.
Yes. Sorry, I'm coming. There's something I need to copy actually.
That's what I'm saying. From code, where you have code, click on it. Click on code. Where you have this green.
Yes.
Green.
No,
look at this green. No, look at this code that has green. Yes. So copy this. Yes. Just click on it to copy. Click on that. Yes.
So you now go to your Git bash. Then you can't do Control V directly here. So this is another way to do it. You just paste it then. Okay, actually an error is coming.
There's an error there. You're supposed to You're supposed to say git remote add origin before
Yes,
that
there's a way.
code.
There's a way it brings it out. There's a way it brings it out by default. I think it's because of this readme that didn't make it pop up. There's a way I do it on normal day, but
Just
okay,
use git remote add origin, then you paste the code there.
Yeah, instead of typing that git remote, that long thing, there's a normal way I do it. Although it's been long I use GitHub. I use more of Bitbucket, but sorry, let me just do so. Let me show you the other way I do it. I don't want to type that manually. That's the issue. Like I don't like typing it. So let me just say sample new. So this sample new, I'll just copy the code. I'll just copy the file inside. So this sample new. Let me just run it with sample new. I'll close this git bash. So this is sample new. Like I said, let me just so I can explain it again in case people didn't get to that time. Git bash here, that's the first thing I do. Git bash here. Once I do git bash here, I do git init. Git init is the first command to initialize it. After git init, I do git add all. After git add all, I do git commits. -n. Then okay. Adding h1. H1 welcome. Adding H. So once I do this, I enter it. So it's telling me that I've created one file, 12 changes. Then the next thing I do on a normal day is this. Let me not go through that route. So this is what I do. I come to my GitHub. I come to my GitHub. Then I click new repo, new, like repo, new, a new repo. Repos, then let me make it git testing, like how to use git testing or git testing tutorial. So this is git testing tutorial. Then for me, I'll just do create repo. You can add a README if you want, like I said. You can add a description, create repo. Then this is what I was saying. So once you do this, once I do this, it's meant to give me this. Like the other person said, yes, you have two options. Either I do it like this, but if you do this one, the way I was doing it initially, if you click on this first thing here, you will need to type this thing here manually. But I prefer to type it manually because there's a reason why I type it manually. I've integrated Netlify and some other things on my GitHub before. So automatically it does not, and if you check the way GitHub is, you have what they call the master. I'll show you. Let me just go back to what I was explaining. So this is what it shows you. Once you create the repo, it shows you something like this. It shows you this. This name of the Git testing tutorial. This name of the Untitled repo. So once I do this, I'll now copy these two things here. So if it's telling you how to do it, they're telling you if you check here or create a new repo on command line. It's telling you how to do it. The first thing I did was to do git init. If you check, if you can see my arrow, git init. The second thing I did was git add all, like I said. You can add a readme there. The next thing I did was git commits. So after the git commits, it has already created a branch main for me by default. So I'll just copy this thing here, this line here, this second to the last line. You can do your normal Ctrl+C and you can preferably just copy it like this. So once you copy this, you now go to your git bash. Once you copy the second to the last line, that was what the other person was saying. That said git remote origin. So once you do this, you come here. Ctrl+V will not work. So you come here, paste it manually. So they click enter. Once you click enter, nothing happens. Then you come to the last one here, this last one that is here. This last one here. Then you click copy again. You click copy. Once you click copy, you come here. You come here. You do paste again. So you can see mine is showing main. It's not meant to show main. It's showing main because added some other things to my GitHub in time past. But if you check this thing that is on light blue here, is master. So that's what I wanted to show. That's why I didn't want to use that method. Sorry, the other lady that said the other time, that was the issue. That's why I didn't want to actually do it that first way. Because if I do it that way, it's going to tell me an error. And it's that error I'm actually avoiding. So I need to change it to master because the name of the default branch GitHub gives is master. But if you are just using GitHub for the first time, it will give you master. It will just like git push you origin master. It won't show you main. It's because I've added some other things. So I need to always change it to, I've integrated some other things on it, packages on it. Then, so that's why I need to change it to master. Because if I enter this main, it will show me error or something, not found, because it can't find any branch that is called main. So I need to manually change it to master. But if you are doing it this way, the process I'm doing it, you won't get the main, you get the master. So I'll now click enter. So it will now load, it will load the file for me. Can you see it's loading it? It's loading every, so it's telling me Git bash now telling me that I've added what? Git push, I've added what? A new branch, master. So it's telling me what I've done. So once it shows you this, that means the code is now there. You now go back to, once you are done with this, you now go back to your GitHub, then refresh this page. You refresh this page like this. So you can see it's now telling me that on my GitHub, it's telling me index.html that I've added. So this was the commit I added H1 welcome. So this is it. You can even check the code from here. If you click on it, if you click on index.html to show you the code I wrote there. Sorry, I'm using a black theme for GitHub. GitHub actually comes in white theme, but my system is because of eye on screen, I prefer the dark theme. So this is it. It's telling me the code I wrote. You can see it. So this is where it is. You can go back. So this is how GitHub is. So this is what the leader is meant to do. If you want to actually run it, if you want to create a branch. So this branch now is open. Anybody can clone it. Anybody can clone this branch.
That's
so
the master branch.
Yeah, that's the master branch.
branch.
Yes, everybody needs to clone from the master.
Master branch, yes.
Yes. So this is the master branch. So this is it. Like I said, this is the Git. Let me just show you the terminal again. The first thing you do is this. If it's a fresh project that nobody has added, this is only for the leaders. Other people with the rest that are cloning it, we don't need to do Git init or any of those things. We just follow it the way Mr. said it that we clone it. I can clone the same project. Yeah. Let me just, is there time to show you how to clone it? Maybe anybody that wants to clone it. So if you want to clone it, basically there are two ways. Just follow it the way Mr. said we should clone it, because I'm not using the desktop, and I'm sure, yes, I followed the tutorial. She was using the desktop. So the desktop, I think it's easier. What the GitHub desktop is for people that don't like terminal. They don't want to use the CLI, the terminal. People that prefer using the normal UI, like. So this is actually terminal. This is like running it on the terminal. Although it's faster here, but people will say terminal is faster. But UI2 works. Anyone that works, basically. So this is how to create the branch. So if you now want to, if you need to clone it, you just come in. You go to code, then you copy this code. The way I clone it, I'm not going to open with GitHub Desktop because I don't have a GitHub Desktop. I use the web app, the online web app. So I'll just go back to I'll just open a new, let me open a new Git bash. So I open a new Git bash. Let's say my leader, our team, our leader created this thing, sent us this link that we should go to. You can copy this link like this. You can send it to people. So once your leader posts on your group, you just go there, you go to code, you click on this thing, just type it, just to show you copied. That's just copying like this. You can also download it as a zip. Yes, if you know how to unzip file, zip is even easier too. Anyone works. You can download it as a zip, then you unzip it on your system. So once you do that, you just go to your command line. You go to your command line. That's your Git bash. You go to your Git bash. Then you do Git clone. Then you paste it. Remember, you don't use Ctrl V. Ctrl V will not work. If I do Ctrl V to show me, Ctrl V not, you see, to show me a current and a V, no, it does not work. Do you understand? So Ctrl V, Ctrl C don't work directly on it. So you have to paste it manually. So you just do Git clone. Then once you do Git clone, you do paste. So once you do paste, when you click enter, yes, some of you will encounter this error. There's this error, this general error that used to say could not access work tree, something. permission denied. It's a very common error. You can always check it on Stack Overflow, but the way to fix it is this. Just go to your, if you encounter this error, but if you're doing it for the first time, most times you don't get to encounter it. But in case you encounter this type of error, just go to your search. If you're using a Windows computer, just go here, search for your, just type git bash there. Just type git bash. Then once you type git bash, click on run as administrator. Run as administrator. Then click yes, as if you want to install it. Once you do this, once you do run as administrator, then paste. Git clone, then paste, then click enter. You see it's now cloning now. So once it's cloned like this, it's on your system already. But because I didn't pick a particular direct place to clone it, if I want to click a particular place, that was the method I showed earlier, CMD. Go to your file folder and click CMD. So like this now is on my system. Depending on the system you use, depending on the type of system you use, you can just go to your computer, this PC, go to your PC, go to your desktop, go to wherever you have it. Okay, I think mine is on owner. So I'll go to local disk. I'll go to my local disk. So in my local disk, let me expand it. I'll go to my local disk. In my local disk, I'll go to user. Then from user, I'll go to owner. Because I didn't pick a particular place, I just cloned it generally. So I should get this it here. If you can see my screen, you can see it here. Let me go back. If you are looking on, if you don't pick where you want to clone it, most times to clone on your local disk. Just go to your normal local disk, my computer. Go to your user. If it's for Windows, go to your user, go to owner. If you didn't rename the owner as anything, can rename the owner. Some of you have customized it as an administrator. If it's administrator, anyone you use, but I use owner as my default. So I'll just go there, I'll go and look for it. So this is the file here, git testing. So this is it. So this is the folder. That means I've cloned it now. That's what the members of the group are meant to do. You just clone it. Then you click on what? Copy. You can copy it or move it. You can just copy it and paste it on your desktop here. You can come and paste it on my desktop here. So you can easily, so I'll click paste. So this is it on my desktop. It's already here. Oh, sorry, that's not. So this is on my desktop. So I'll just click it. So it's there. So all of you can now work on it. So welcome. So as a third party as well, I can have access to it. So that's what the many members of the group are meant to do. This method is only if you want to. This method is only if you actually want to use the command line. If you don't want to use the command line, there's an alternative to it.
So show the way to pull also.
Okay, way to pull. Oh, okay.
You know, after the
yes, okay, this is it. Let's say, okay, this is it now. Let's say I have this file on my computer now. This Git. Let me now open this Git testing tutorial. I'll just drag it to my VS Code. Let's assume I am a team member. I was not the one that created it, but remember I've cloned it. Now that I've cloned it, and I want to work on it. But I think okay. Hope it does not get confusing actually. Because if you want to work on it, you will need to create your own branch. It's advisable you create your own branch. If I'm correct, yeah, create your own branch. But I don't know whether we're working with multiple branches or just the master branch. But if it's just the master branch, everybody's working on directly. You type your own code. Let's assume I want to add other things to it. I can say, okay, I want to add a CSS file to it. I can say style.css. So let's say this is another person that wants to work on, maybe the group leader created just the welcome. The next person wants to just say style.css. Once I'm done with this style.css like this, let me say I'm adding, okay, let me add something just to make it, let me add margin 0, padding 0. Then let me add something to my H1. Or let me add the background color to be blue. Background color blue, so we know that I change. Or let me make it brown, background color brown. Then the H1 that I have there, let me change the H1. Let me change the H1 color. Let me just give it color of, let's say, white. white. So white like this. You need to save your code if you are not using autosave. So because I use autosave. So that's how it works. So once you are done with it now, you now want to, it will be showing you. If you check my screen, it's showing you here means it is on track. That means you've not added this thing to the GitHub. If it's showing M means it is modified. That means you've changed something. And truly, I added, can you see there's a small green line here that is telling me that I've done something to the code. It's telling me that I've done something to the code. Although with time you master, if you use GitHub, you will master it. So this is what it's showing you. So because it's not yet on GitHub, it's showing you on track. M means I modified it, and truly I modified it because you can say I've added a space to it. If I remove this now, the M disappears, meaning it's not modified again. But once I do this, that means I'm touching something in the code that our leader did. Although you may need to touch things on it, nobody's saying you can't touch. Nobody's saying you can't touch anything on the code. You can actually. So this is how it works. So but just know the major thing I did was to add CSS. So let me leave this one unmodified. I added the CSS to it. Let's see if it works. Let me just use live server to test it if it works. Okay. Oh, I've not linked it. I've not linked it actually. Let me just link it so to show link. Style.css. So let me check it again in live server. Okay, it's working now. That means let's say that's the part that I needed to do. Let's say that was the part I needed to do. So what I do is I'll come back to my terminal. Although if you are using it the way, Mrs. said we should do it, you can just do it with that extension that she said. That extension that is called Git pull request. Yes, but this was the terminal I used in cloning it. It does not mean you can close this terminal. It does not mean I just want to use the same terminal. If I let me open a new terminal so it does not confuse you, maybe you should, in case you don't have the terminal opened down or already. So you go back to that folder. This is the folder. If you can see the folder, if you check the folder here manually, you can see there's now a style there. There's now a style that's CSS. Before, when I cloned it, was just index that was there. But now there's a style there, that's style.css. So what I do, I'll right click on it again. Then I do git bash here. So once I do the git bash here, the next thing I'll do is you need to do git add, or you need to add everything to it. Git add all means you don't need to do git init because you're not initializing the projects again, the repo again. The repo is already there. So the next thing you do is just to do git add all. Once you do git add all, you click enter. Then you do git commit. If you don't commit, it won't start it. It won't keep it rather. It won't keep it stored there that you made a change. So git commit is just to commit. What did you commit? What did you commit?
The style you added to it.
Thank you. I added. So I say I added a style sheet for H1. Let me just do it like that. So once I do this, I click enter. It's the commit that will show you what you've done. It's telling me 2 files changed. 2 files have changed. That means I modified. Okay, I touched something on there. I touched something on the index.html, and I also touched the CSS. And it's telling me to tell you the number of insertions you did. So you can only track it here. 10 insertions. So if you check the code, if I go back to my code, you can see can you see 10 lines? It's telling me if you see from here to here, till where I stop my highlight type, just 10 lines. So it's telling me that this is what I have done. So once you do this, you now do the next thing to do is to do git push. Git push means you want to push everything you've done, the code you've written, the code base, you want to push it to go and join the one there. So you do git push, enter. Once you do git push, it will show you, yes. So with this now, it's telling you that you've pushed one, so and so. Don't be worried what it's saying. So far it does not give you a red. That means you're on track. So once I do this now, just give it a few seconds. Depending on your network, you go to your git bash, you go to that folder, you click. Normally, this repo will show in your file, by default. But if you can't find it, just go. You can always search it. You can always search for a repo. You can say git testing, Git testing. Git testing is the tutorial I used. So it's, oh, sorry. Let's search for it well. But is it already? You always see it on your Git bash there. So when you click on it, you see, once you click on it or you reload, either you click on it or you refresh it to show you that the style is now added. To show you that the style is now what's added. Normally, once you do this as a third party, as somebody else, you're meant to raise what we call a pull request. Pull request means I've added something to this code, merge it, like join it. The leader will join it to the code. But because I'm the only one, it's still my how will I call it? It's still my account. So it's still showing as me. I don't need a pull request, but I can actually create a pull request for it. So I'll go to one branch. The one branch I have there is still my default branch. So let me go back to code. The one branch I have there is still my default branch. Nothing has changed. I didn't raise a pull request, but normally you can always raise a pull request for anything you've done. You can do this. You can always new pull request. You can raise a pull request. But do we want to, I'm not sure I want to go into pull request and all. It will make it, won't it make it rough? Because already I think I've said.
What I'm saying is like no, the leaders. No, you have already sent it.
Okay.
Those that just like the team members made an addition now. The team member has pushed it to his own GitHub. Now the team member needs to send it to the team lead so that the team lead can match. Now that team member needs to create a pull request.
Yes, he needs to create a pull request.
Now, once the team member said, you have to send a pull request to the leader.
Yes, automatically the leader will say yes. That's only the pull request. Yes.
Pull request. Then once the leader sees the pull request, the leader can access it. You can now match. Show them how to match. That's what I'm saying. That pull request is that they can pull here, so you can show them how to match. That's what I'm saying.
That means I need to create a pull request. Let me run a pull request. New pull request then. But most times pull request is done on other branches, but you can also do it there like this. So they said compare changes across branches, commits and tag. Pull request is just saying that I've added something. Check it with the code that we already have. Does it work? If it works, merge it together. Merging means join it together with the code that we already have. So what I'm merging, like I said, the best way pull request works on branches. But because I didn't create a branch before working on this thing, I think I won't be able to create a pull request on it. Yes. So it's been a while I use GitHub, but I think you'll be able to create a pull request.
The basic is once the team lead creates the master branch. Now you as a team member that you want to add to it, you need to create your own from that
branch before you start.
Before you start, create a particular branch. When you
create
that branch, when you create that branch, you can now modify that code before pushing to GitHub. Then you can now send a pull request to the team lead to now merge it.
Okay, so should we create a pull request?
I'm not saying it because of others.
Yes, Mr. T, should we create a pull request? Should I create a branch?
Yes, you can. You've already gone far. Just complete everything. Though it's past time. I'm sorry that we are wasting. We're not wasting your time.
Make it tomorrow.
We're actually learning. No, tomorrow is the day we're going to present now. So we need this today.
Okay.
Tomorrow is the day we're going to present. So just continue.
In city, that project can be one page, right?
The what?
Project, it can be one page, right? As in one page, then the linking can be on one page. Is it not just a small
all right, you can do that. Let me allow that because there's no more time. Actually. So we can do that.
Thank you.
If your web page is like that, it's fine.
Yes, that was even because of the technicality, it's not actually hard, it's just that being conversant with it. Because of the technicality of creating branches, and I think it will be resolving in conflicts. And merging conflicts at times can be voila. So that's why I was thinking maybe we all finish the project. Then after finishing the project, maybe we'll use zip files to send it to each other. Then after doing that, we now upload. The group leader will just create a repo like this. Then everybody will just clone. So everybody will have an idea of it finally. everybody have an idea of it. Then subsequently,
Upload
because
once.
Ma, you said? Hello, Ma, you said? So that's what I was thinking. Should I still continue with the pull request? Because when people start creating branches now, hope it won't jam. That's what I was thinking.
Please,
Maybe.
Sorry,
Hello,
excuse me. I think that's whole this thing is actually even confusing for me, and
Okay,
I
this is
think it will be confusing for a lot of people that are newbies. So maybe if they can just send to one the team lead or something, and then push everything at once. I'm sure, is that possible, right?
Yes. Then you can also host it. Like you can host it with GitHub, you can host offline. Like, I mean, you can host for free, yes. So everybody can access it. You can also host on GitHub.
What time is the submission tomorrow morning?
So I was thinking that if by
Okay.
chance we've not finished, like by the morning session we've not finished, we can use the evening session, like from 12 to 2, to do the showcase.
Okay.
Because I know that by that tomorrow morning, some people would have not still finished. So I'll just give us the grace of that 2 hours to round up everything.
All right, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So should I stop sharing?
Is
do
that
you
all?
understand? Should I
Do we all
continue with the pull request, or should I do it again?
Do we all get it?
Do I need to run it again? Should I use?
Are you guys here? Okay. It seems they'll just watch the
Yeah,
record
we are
because they're not
here.
responding.
Sorry, Miss City, sorry, I just want to say that I think this thing is easier to just look at them and follow them. It's actually when each person is doing it on his or her own that is when you know whether you got it or not. That's what I can say. So maybe if while we are doing it, maybe we can chat either you or him up if we encounter any challenge. Is that possible while we are doing it? Because right now, it's easy for us to just be looking at it and you're getting it and all. I'm very, very sure that while we are doing it on our own, you'll be encountering some funny things that will just that's basically like a suggestion from me. I don't know.
I agree. I think so too. I actually agree with what you said.
Okay, yes. So basically, GitHub is not actually hard. It's very easy to use. Or it's just, I know, being the first time. But what I'll just say is try to link your, just like Ms. City said, link your GitHub to your, if you run it from VS Code, yeah, for those, most of us that use VS Code, link everything the way she said it. So try to download Git Bash. Yes, I think Git Bash too is easy. If you feel, but you can also use the desktop, the open GitHub Desktop. GitHub Desktop is even easy. If you use GitHub Desktop, you need to be writing these commands manually. I guess you need to be writing it, but I think I learned GitHub writing them manually. So that was the thing there. But it's easy. If you want to start a new project, just a recap, just summarize in a minute. If you want to do a new project for the leaders, when you are done with the project, the whole file, you've compressed everything together, it's fine. Just go to your, create a folder for it on system. By default, you have a folder for it on your system like this. Once you create that, do what they call Git Bash here. Once you do the Git Bash here, it loads a terminal for you. So in that terminal, the first thing you do is to do Git init. After Git init, you do Git add or. After Git add or, okay, I've closed it already. I've closed that particular terminal that I used. You do Git add, Git init. After Git init, Git add or, then Git commit. That commit is commit -m. Like this, you put commit -m space, then this is what to do it. Git commit -m. You do this. So once you do this, you now do Git. You do Git. Yes, Git commit. After Git commit, that's when you now go to your GitHub account. Like I said, like I explained there, you go to your GitHub account. But if you're using the GitHub Desktop, I can't really remember the first thing to do on GitHub Desktop. I don't use it, but I'll learn it as Ms. City has said. I'll learn how to use it, but I've not used it before. So if you are using the web app like the way I use mine, just signing into github.com, you can even integrate it using your Microsoft account too. It's owned by Microsoft. So it's very good. That's how you can link your Microsoft, GitHub, Live Share, and VS Code together. They are all Microsoft tools. So you go to new. Once you get to new, give it a name. Just give it a name. Once you give it a name, you can add a README. You can add anything you want. But most times, I don't add a README file. If it's just if I'm doing writing, but if it entails different people, you can add a README file. But if you think maybe applying the README file will confuse the person, you can leave it. You can always add it later. It's not a must. You should add it from the onset. If you feel it's confused, just want to make it extremely simple. Just put the name of the repo name. Just put your repo name here. Just put your repo name. Once you put your repo name, it will tell you the repo name is available. Yes. If you're using a name that is not available that I've used before on your repo, it won't allow you. So it will always give you a tick here that yes, this repo name is available. Just like if you want to enter, maybe you want to sign up for a mail, it will tell you that this something at yahoo.com, something at gmail.com, is it available for you to use? So it won't conflict with somebody else that has been using it. So then you click on create repo. Once you click on the create repository like this, once you do this, you now copy. You know, you already did Git init on your Git bash on your terminal here. You already did Git init, Git add, or you stop that Git commit. Actually, stop at this part, Git commit. You now copy. Remember the way I said it. You copy this second to the last one here, the Git remote, and you can type it manually if you want to type it. If you can remember it, it's not hard. Yes, but I just don't like the informations are much, so I'm not used to typing it. Or better still, if you don't type it, just copy. You don't take consistency with the ones on top, just this last two. Just copy it like this. What this thing does actually is the same thing as this thing here. But because I don't want to, I can't do mine on my system, I can't do it straight because like I said, GitHub main branch is called master, but mine is, you can see me in here because I've added some other things in time past that has actually changed the way my GitHub works. So it has added like extension, so it has made it main. So that's the issue there. That's why I can't actually just do it directly. But if you still want to do it like this too, it's the same thing. So you just copy this. Once you copy this Git remote, you copy it, you take it here. You won't see this Git push. You can't do Git push yet. If you remember, if you are in just case you're writing down, the first thing was Git init, Git add or Git commit. After Git commit, you stop. That's when you go to create this repo. You go to create this repo that I created. And once you create this repo, you give it the name, you click enter to show you this. That's when you now copy this thing here. Git remote add origin, GitHub, your name, repo name, all of that. Then you now paste it. Remember, Control-C, Control-V does not work. If you don't want to type it out manually, you right click here, then you click on paste. So once you click on paste, you click on enter. You understand? Enter like this. It's showing me error because it already exists. You understand? This already Git testing tutorial already exists. That's why it's showing me error. It will show you error when you're doing it for the first time. So once you do that, after doing that one, normally it won't show anything. You now come here and copy the last one to Git push origin main, Git push origin main. Then from the Git push origin main, you now do this one too. Remember, Control-C and Control-V does not work. If you do Control-C, it will show you something like this. You are clearing the terminal. Control-C means to clear the terminal. Depending on any programming language or anything, anytime you are in command line, Control-C is to clear. So you don't do Control-C, it won't work. And if you do Control-V2 as well, it won't work. Control-V2 will show you something like that. It won't work. So what you do is this. You just come here, you just do paste. You can see paste here. Or shift, inspect, shift INS like that. So once you do this, but yours will not show me like if you remember when I was saying yours should not show me, it will show me. You're using it for the first time. You've not added so many other packages on it. So it will show you master. It show you master like this. But me, I have to change it to master directly because already I'm seeing master. If I leave it as that main, if I say it will show me an error. Can you see it will show me this error here? Red. And I show you whenever your Git, but if I think Git bash, whenever you are seeing a red, that's one thing why Git bash is good. Everything you do on Git bash, you can actually do it on your command line here to CMD command prompt here. You can install software, you can do so many things from here too. But one thing about this one is makes it colorful. Git bash makes it more colorful. Everything is more arranged. That's what Git bash does. So it does not do any major thing per se. It's still what you do in your command line does. It's just adding color to it for people that like fine UI and that. And it makes it look more, I think, arranged. So That's the basic thing it does.
And it makes
So
you
once
see the error on time.
you said,
And it makes you detect the error
yes,
on
it
time.
makes you see the error because if you're using a normal command line, everything always, if you're using a normal command prompt, everything always showing this. This is where everything will be showing. See, if can you see the error? It will show you in another color. It will just be showing you. So it's not the best. So I'm not saying it's the best. If you're used to it, yes, it's good. But if you can use something finer, use something finer. So basically, that's the way it is. Then you now do this, like I said, what you are meant to paste just to show master. So this is why I didn't use the main. That's why I'm changing it to master, because you can see GitHub is telling me it's master that is here. Just to show master by default. Just to even come as master. But in case something happened, maybe anything on the way, it shows you main or something, I'll just change it to master. Because if you don't change it to master, it won't work. So once you click master and click enter, already this thing exists already. It exists. So everything, you can see it's telling everything is up to date. These are the things that Git bash helps you to do. It's telling you everything is up to date. It said branch master, remote something. Forget all those things. Just telling you it's up to date because I didn't add anything. I'm only redoing it. The branch is already, Git testing tutorial is already on my repos, live already. So that is it. So once you're done with this now, you now go back to refresh this page. Once you refresh this page, it will now show you that part that gave me. It will show you this part. It will show you this. Once you refresh it, to show you this automatically by itself. Just refresh it after like a few seconds to show you this. It will now show you that anything you've added is there. So from this way like this is fine. So you can now host it. I don't know, maybe instead you tell us about hosting. You can host it maybe using GitHub, Barcel.
It's not add on GitHub. You can host it when you go to that settings.
Yes.
When you go to that settings on GitHub,
yes,
you will see where you have. Go to settings. Can you go to settings on your? Go to settings.
Do I have another way of
okay, this one is very easy. Once you go to settings, scroll down.
GH pages.
Just you see GitHub pages. Check it out.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Let's click on it. Click on it. Yes. Now where you have this source, where you have none, change it. Yes. Change it to master.
Exactly.
Yes. Save.
So
okay. So that's you have hosted it.
Okay. So additionally, this is where I do it initially. Then this is where I do it. Then I just I create another branch. Okay, this is another way to do it. Thank you, and the way you said it. This is where I used to do it before. This method, yes, I do it. But I think I like things I like the lazy way of doing things. My bad, apologies. I just type G pages. I just type G-pages, then click enter. Automatically set just by doing this. Once you do this, just come to where you have branch here, master here. Just click this drop down. Type GH pages there. GH pages. Then click on create branch. Automatically, that process I just did, it does it for you. It does it for you. So you just come to settings. It's not immediately. You have to make sure it's not immediately. Then go to GitHub pages. It will show you this page. And your site is now published.
When you click on it, you can see. Let me see your method again. You said your own method is GH pages.
Yes, GH pages. Let me show you with another project so you see it well.
Where do you go to type your GH pages?
Okay, this is it. Let me use this project to show you. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, this is it. So this is it. Now this is the project. This is a project. This project does not have a GH page the way it is. So this is what I'll do. So I'll just click on. I'll just say master. I'll just type GH pages, GH-pages. Then click on create branch. Automatically, it has created. It has hosted it for me live like that. So I'll just go to settings, just like you did the other time. Then go down to GitHub pages
and copy your link.
Click yes. It will set the link there. Can you see the link is there? Okay, it's not ready yet. You know it takes time. It's not immediately.
Yes.
Just give it a few till it shows green. Before initially, GitHub page used to be directly on that page. I think it was towards last year.
Yes.
GitHub
that they now changed it.
Yes. Now changed into another entirely different page. Before it used to be directly on that page, on that setting. So the way to know it will not show by itself. You need to refresh it or reload it.
You hold on for a while. Hold on for a while.
Yes.
It's better than Netlify, kind of. This one is easier.
Netlify is okay, yes, but Netlify, one thing about Netlify is this. You know, the GH page, if you make a change to your GH page, you need to go and delete the GH page and add and do it again. It does not create a pipeline. GH page does not actually create a pipeline. If you check, if I add other things to this project on my code and I push it, GH page will only show me what was there initially as at the time I made the GH page. The new ones won't show.
No, that's not true. The thing is,
okay, maybe they change. I don't use GitHub that much again. That's why I use Netlify.
Once you have
Netlify
pushed
changes
it,
it automatically for you. Over
no, GitHub 2 changes it automatically. Once you have pushed it, that same link still retains itself. It will change it to everything you make as yes, it will change it.
I've not used it per se for a long while, for months, so I don't know if, but then GitHub of like 2 years ago, I remember then it won't change, it won't automatically change. You need to go and delete that GH page and put it again. Now it was even there on their docs there like that. So
yes,
I think
they modified it.
They modified it.
Yes.
Because that was why I started using Netlify and Vercel. So that's the way it is. But I've not been using GitHub for a while now. So that's it. So once I click this thing now, automatically, it's telling me, okay, yes. GitHub only work index. GitHub only work. You need to have a file called index.html. So people listening, if you don't have a file called index.html, GitHub will not automatically, it won't render it for you. It won't. You need to have a file. So if I check this file now, there's no index.html there. That means my index, so there is card.html, there's no index.html. So if you don't have an index.html, it won't go. That's one thing about GitHub, it won't. Yes, some other platforms may allow you, but GitHub does not. So the way this one will go is because this one, if I check this one is only going because if I go to the code, this one has an index.html. If you don't have an index.html, it won't go. So
I want to leave.
Okay, yes. So that's it, man. That's everyone. If there's any concern, you can say it on the group chat. So that's it basically. So this hosting is the same thing as hosting you pay for. It's just that it is free.
Any other thing?
And it is slow. It's not fast.
Nothing else. That's all.
Okay,
that's all.
Can I stop sharing now?
Yes, you can. Thank you so much. Thank you, Aminat and Taiwo. I really do appreciate your inputs. So for people that have not still gotten it, you can make reference to this video and go back to it when the link is dropped, right? So you can properly understand what's going on here. So I'm sorry that is way past the normal time, like 1 hour, 5 minutes past 2 o'clock. So I'm very sorry for that. So we'll continue tomorrow. I'll see everybody tomorrow. So let's take care of ourselves. Michael, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, you can end the class now.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, bye everyone. Tomorrow then.
All right, bye.
Bye. I was